What if I told you that you are being completely played by the billion-dollar beauty and supplement industry? Every single day, millions of people spend a fortune on expensive tubs of powdered collagen, magical pills, and colorful gummies. We buy them hoping to erase fine lines, cure our aching joints, and somehow buy back the elasticity of our youth. But what if the true fountain of youth doesn't come in a sleek plastic tub with a pastel label? What if our grandparents and great-grandparents had access to a source of collagen that was infinitely more powerful, incredibly cheap, and far more easily absorbed by the human body, just simmering away on their stoves? We hear a lot about bone broth these days. And yes, bone broth is wonderful, but bone broth is just the tip of the iceberg. The truth that the supplement companies are praying you never figure out is that our ancestors didn't take capsules. They didn't isolate nutrients. They consumed whole, traditional meals, rich in connective tissues, thick cartilages, and pure, natural gelatins. These meals provided the exact cellular building blocks our bodies need in a format our digestion instantly recognizes and absorbs. Today, I am going to reveal 10 forgotten ancestral meals that contain far more collagen than your standard modern bone broth. These are the exact meals that healed the guts of generations past, built the unbreakable joints of the working class, and kept the skin of our ancestors firm and glowing without a single drop of expensive serum. You need to stick around until the very end, because meal number 7 is literally a cut of meat that melts in your mouth while quietly rebuilding your body from the inside out. And number 10 is so controversial in today's diet culture that you'll be shocked to discover it is actually one of the most perfectly matched, bioavailable forms of collagen on planet Earth. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Number 1. Chicken feet soup, the golden secret. Let's start with an absolute classic that makes a lot of modern consumers wrinkle their noses. Chicken feet soup. Known in many traditional cultures as the golden secret, this dish has been one of the most revered healing meals in traditional Chinese medicine, as well as a staple in the mid-century kitchens of grandmothers across the globe. For centuries, when someone was recovering from a severe illness, suffering from stiff joints, or needing to regain strength after childbirth, they weren't handed a dry, skinless chicken breast. They were given the feet. Modern science is finally catching up to what those grandmothers knew by pure instinct. Chicken feet contain almost zero actual muscle meat. Instead, they are composed entirely of skin, tendons, cartilage, and tiny bones. This makes them an absolute concentrated bomb of type 2 collagen, the exact specific type of collagen that makes up the cartilage in your very own joints. When you consume this, you are giving your body the direct, raw materials it needs for joint repair. It's also packed with natural hyaluronic acid, the same compound doctors inject into arthritic knees today. The practical application is incredibly simple and beautiful. Traditionally, these feet are cleaned and simmered, low and slow for hours with garlic, onions, ginger, and herbs. The magic happens when the broth cools down. It doesn't stay liquid. It turns into a thick, golden gelatin that is so dense you could literally slice it with a butter knife. That gel is pure, broken-down collagen that your gut can absorb effortlessly. The only reason this miraculous healing meal was forgotten is pure aesthetics. Modern supermarket culture has conditioned us to be grossed out by animal parts that actually look like the animal. We've been trained to only buy neat, clean, skinless fillets wrapped in plastic. But by throwing away the feet, we are throwing away the very medicine that keeps our joints lubricated and pain-free. Think of chicken feet soup as the biological oil your creaky hinges are begging for, packaged in the most humble, economical way possible. Number 2. Slow-cooked oxtail stew, the Sunday centerpiece. If chicken feet are the humble peasant medicine, slow-cooked oxtail stew is the absolute royalty of collagen. Known by older generations as the Sunday centerpiece, the tail of the cow was historically a cheap, Throwaway cut left for the working class who couldn't afford premium steaks. What the wealthy elite didn't realize was that they were leaving the most profoundly healing part of the animal for the poor. The biological story behind the oxtail is fascinating. A bovine's tail is a complex biomechanical marvel. It is packed with thick vertebrae, rich immune-boosting bone marrow, and, most importantly, massive amounts of thick connective tissue and fascia. The scientific alchemy happens when we apply low heat and moisture over a very long period. Through a process called thermal hydrolysis, all that tough, unyielding collagen breaks down and melts into a luxurious liquid gelatin, flooding the stew with vital building blocks like glycine and proline. To unlock this power, our grandparents would sear the meat to build a deep crust of flavor, and then let it simmer gently in a heavy pot, often with root vegetables, red wine, and savory herbs for 4, 6, or even 8 hours. The end result is meat that literally falls apart at the mere sight of a fork, swimming in a gravy so incredibly rich in collagen that it leaves your lips sticking together after every single bite. Oxtail disappeared from our everyday menus not because it lacks flavor. It is arguably the most delicious cut on the cow, but because we lost our patience. We live in the era of fast food, air fryers, and microwaves. The convenience industry stole the time required to extract real nutrition from our food. But for anyone who wants elastic skin and bones made of steel, time is the main ingredient. Think of oxtail stew as an edible time machine for your skin's elasticity, bubbling away slowly on your stovetop. Number 3. Pork trotters, the working man's strength. Perhaps no other meal represents human resilience quite like pork trotters or pig's feet. Historically dubbed the working man's strength, this dish was the fundamental fuel for the farmers, bricklayers, and tradesmen of the early 20th century. These men spent 12 hours a day doing intense physical labor, yet rarely suffered from the chronic lower back pain and joint degradation that plagues modern office workers today. Biology reveals exactly why. Trotters are composed almost exclusively of thick, durable skin, heavy cartilage, and dense bone. They provide one of the highest natural concentrations of glycine found anywhere in the animal kingdom. Glycine is a crucial amino acid that does much more than just build collagen. It acts as a soothing, healing balm for the lining of your digestive tract. If you suffer from modern ailments like leaky gut syndrome, chronic bloating, or systemic inflammation, the glycine extracted from trotters works like biological spackle, sealing the microscopic tears in your gut wall. In traditional mid-century kitchens, trotters were intensely boiled, often served alongside dense beans or hearty grains, creating a thick, opaque, deeply satisfying broth. The meat, the soft, melted cartilage, and the marrow all blend into a meal that completely outperforms any synthetic gut-healing supplement on the market. Pork trotters were demonized and pushed off our plates starting in the 1980s, during the massive hysteria against saturated fats. We were falsely taught that hearty animal foods caused heart disease, leading us to swap these collagen-rich wonders for inflammatory vegetable oils and highly processed cereals. The cruel irony is that we abandoned the exact foods that naturally fought inflammation. Think of pork trotters as the internal scaffolding of your body, the biological mortar that keeps your cellular walls strong and impenetrable. Number 4. Head cheese or brawn, the frugal masterpiece. Don't let the name scare you away. Head cheese has absolutely nothing to do with dairy. This ancestral preparation, also known as brawn in Europe, is what we call the frugal masterpiece. Before the invention of modern refrigeration and the toxic culture of food waste, slaughtering an animal meant honoring its life by utilizing every single millimeter of its body. And the head of the animal was considered an absolute prize by the matriarchs of the family. The nutritional plot twist here is staggering. The head of a pig or a calf houses a massive, concentrated payload of type 1 and type 3 collagen, found primarily in the thick skin of the snout, the cheeks, and the ears. When simmered gently in water for hours, all that dense collagen melts away into a golden, fragrant broth. The tender meat is then pulled apart, seasoned aggressively with sharp vinegar, cracked black pepper, and strong herbs, and pressed into a terrine mold. The collagen-rich broth itself acts as nature's cement. As the mixture cools in the icebox, it solidifies into an incredibly dense, sliceable, wildly flavorful loaf. No artificial gelatin powders required. Our ancestors would slice this cold delicacy and eat it with sharp mustard or a piece of sourdough bread, taking in a dose of pure, structural collagen so potent it makes today's supplement capsules look like a joke. This nutritional powerhouse was erased from our culture simply because the food industry sanitized our relationship with nature. Modern consumers are terrified of eating anything that reminds them of the actual animal. We prefer our food in perfect, geometric, breaded shapes that look like they grew in a factory. But by rejecting traditional dishes, like head cheese, we reject the most perfect, natural form of structural supplementation ever invented. Think of it as the original, whole food collagen bar, crafted by nature, not formulated in a laboratory. Number 5. Traditional tripe stew. The winter warmer. A lot of people cringe just hearing the word. But tripe stew carried humanity through some of the harshest winters in our recorded history. Known affectionately as the winter warmer, tripe has been celebrated from the days of the Roman Empire all the way to the bustling mid-century diners of Europe and the Americas. It is a dish that sustained entire nations when prime muscle meat was an unattainable luxury. But here is what modern cellular biology tells us, and it might just change your mind forever. Tripe, which is the muscular lining of a ruminant animal's stomach, is composed of smooth muscle and a highly unique matrix of connective tissue. Unlike the tough collagen found in joints, the tissue of the stomach is incredibly rich in elastin. Studies into tissue-derived peptides show that consuming stomach lining offers an amino acid profile that is nearly identical to what our own gastrointestinal system needs to regenerate and heal its own tissues. Historically, after being rigorously cleaned, tripe was slow-cooked in robust tomato sauces, splashed with white wine, and simmered with white beans, smoked sausages, and sweet paprika. This long, gentle cooking transforms the naturally rubbery texture into something surprisingly tender, silky, and deeply comforting, while the sauce thickens into a dense elixir of repairing proteins. The reason tripe stew became stigmatized in younger generations is our modern aversion to complex textures. The Western palate has been totally infantilized. We have been trained by fast food corporations to only enjoy things that are uniformly soft, dry, or artificially crunchy. Foods with a bit of chew or resistance scare the modern consumer. But overcoming that mental block means gaining access to a radically cheap, profoundly healing superfood. Think of tripe stew as the ultimate emergency repair kit for a damaged, inflamed digestive system. Moving from the pastures to the ocean, we find one of the most highly coveted sources of collagen in modern science today, which ironically used to be considered poor man's food. We're talking about fish head and skin stew, widely known as the coastal blessing. From the long-lived fishing communities of Okinawa, Japan, to the rustic coastal villages of the Mediterranean, the beautiful, clean, white fillets of the fish were always sold at the market to the wealthy. The fishermen took home the heads, the spines, and the skins, and without knowing it, they kept the absolute best part for their own longevity. Recent clinical research has sparked a massive global craze for marine collagen. Science proves that the collagen extracted from fish is primarily type I collagen, the absolute best variant for promoting hair growth, skin elasticity, and nail strength. Furthermore, marine collagen has a smaller molecular weight than bovine collagen. What does that mean for you? It means it is up to 1.5 times more bioavailable. absorbing into your bloodstream rapidly. Plus, fish heads, especially the connective tissues around the eyes and cheeks, are gold mines of omega-3 fatty acids, DHA, and EPA, perfectly blended into that collagen matrix. In traditional coastal kitchens, the whole fish head and frame were tossed into a pot with onions, wild herbs, garlic, and a squeeze of lemon. The resulting broth isn't thin and watery. It has a rich, silky, almost velvety mouthfeel because all the gelatin from the fish skin melts directly into the water. The meat from the cheek of the fish was always fought over, considered the most tender, succulent bite of the whole catch. This incredible meal was forgotten because the industrial fishing complex turned us into consumers of skinless, boneless fillets. The factory filleting process literally throws half of the animal's nutrients straight into the garbage. We were convinced that fish skin was smelly and that cooking with heads was barbaric. But for those who want the glowing, youthful skin of Pacific Island cultures, the fisherman's boiling pot is the ultimate secret. Think of it as the true fountain of youth, ready to be fished out of the ocean and put back into your kitchen. Number 7. Braised beef cheeks, the melt-in-your-mouth miracle. Now we arrive at the meal I promised you at the very beginning of this video, the beef cheek. This cut is known among master butchers as the melt-in-your-mouth miracle. Throughout culinary history, while kings and nobles demanded the naturally tender, lean cuts from the back of the cow like the filet mignon, the humble butcher quietly took the cheeks home to his own family. He knew exactly what he was doing. The beef cheek is arguably the hardest working muscle on the entire animal. Cows spend all day long chewing, grinding, and ruminating. Scientifically speaking, the harder a muscle works over a lifetime, the more connective tissue and thick collagen matrix the animal's body builds around those muscle fibers to support them. If you look at a raw beef cheek, it looks incredibly tough, striated with thick, solid white webbing. But that white webbing isn't fat. It is pure, unadulterated collagen and fascia. When you apply the ancestral wisdom of a slow braise, cooking it at a very low temperature, partially submerged in a dark liquid like bone broth and red wine, for 4 to 6 hours, an absolute culinary alchemy takes place. All of that tough, unyielding white matrix breaks down and transforms into a translucent, liquid gelatin that permeates every single fiber of the meat. The result is the most tender, sticky, moist cut of beef you will ever eat in your life, delivering a massive payload of bioavailable collagen peptides right to your cells. We forgot about this magnificent cut because the Industrial Revolution and our frantic, modern lifestyles forced us to prioritize steaks that could be pan-fried in 5 minutes. Supermarkets almost never put cheeks on display because they don't look pretty in plastic wrap. But if you walk up to your local butcher and ask for this incredibly cheap cut, you will transform your kitchen into a natural aesthetic clinic. Think of braised beef cheeks as a luxurious, high-end spa treatment for your cells, served right on your dinner plate. Number 8. Roasted bone marrow, the original butter. Long before butter was churned, and centuries before seed oils were artificially extracted in chemical plants, there was the original butter, roasted bone marrow. Since the dawn of humanity, when our earliest hunter-gatherer ancestors cracked open the femurs of large mammals with heavy stones, marrow was the most prized substance on Earth. It provided the exact, dense lipids and structural building blocks that literally fueled the evolution of the human brain. Even later, in the fine dining rooms of the 18th century, spreading hot marrow over toasted, rustic bread was considered the absolute pinnacle of high gastronomy. Many modern dietitians dismiss marrow as just fat, but the truth is infinitely more complex. The yellow marrow found inside the center of large bones contains a specialized hormone called adiponectin. This remarkable compound has been shown to help maintain insulin sensitivity and aggressively reduce systemic inflammation in the body. More than that, The delicate matrix that holds this healing fat together is deeply intertwined with vital growth factors, stem cells, and collagen that promote deep immune strength and bone repair. The traditional way to consume it is elegant in its simplicity. You take canoe-cut bones, beef femurs, sliced lengthwise, sprinkle them with coarse sea salt, and roast them in a blistering hot oven for just 15 to 20 minutes until they bubble and caramelize. The result is a rich, profoundly savory, nutty cream that you scrape directly from the bone. Marrow was heavily criminalized in the late 20th century, replaced by dangerous, factory-made inventions like margarine. We were aggressively told that ancestral animal fats would kill us. Instead, that modern dietary swap left us heavily inflamed, suffering from dry, aching joints and prematurely aging skin. Think of roasted bone marrow as the primal, premium fuel your body was designed to run on. The biological oil that keeps the gears of your longevity turning flawlessly. Number 9. Beef tendon soup. The secret to agility. If you have ever stepped inside an authentic, traditional Asian noodle house, you have likely encountered our 9th ancestral meal, beef tendon soup. Known among ancient martial artists and herbalists as the secret to agility, this dish is rooted in the deep traditional belief of eating like to cure like. The philosophy was simple. If you wanted elastic tendons, flexible joints, and fluid agility well into your old age, you needed to eat the tendon of a strong animal. The scientific plot twist here is undeniable. Unlike muscle meat or even bones, tendons are virtually 100% pure, tough connective tissue. We are talking about the absolute holy grail of structural proteins, boasting unbeatable levels of elastin and hyper-dense collagen. When analyzed under a modern microscope, cooked tendon provides skyrocketing concentrations of the exact amino acids that signal the fibroblasts in your skin to wake up and start producing fresh, new collagen fibers. Traditionally, these impossibly tough tendons are chopped into segments and simmered low and slow, often with star anise, cinnamon bark, and dark soy for up to 12 hours. They slowly transition from rock-hard connective tissue into something that is nearly translucent. When finally ready, the texture is completely transformed. It is no longer tough. It becomes a soft, jelly-like delicacy that melts effortlessly on the tongue. This wonder food was entirely banned from the modern Western table because it was pejoratively labeled as gristle. Our modern obsession with ultra-lean dry chicken breasts completely ignored the fact that eating isolated lean muscle lacks the balancing amino acids that nature intended us to have. We throw the tendons into the rendering plant and then wonder why our knees pop and ache every time we walk up the stairs. Think of beef tendon soup as installing liquid shock absorbers into your joints, delivering the spare parts exactly where your body needs them most. Number 10. Skin-on pork belly roast. The Sunday crackling. And here we are at number 10. The meal I warned you would be highly controversial due to modern nutritional brainwashing. Yet, it remains an unbeatable ancestral classic. The skin-on pork belly roast, famously known to many cultures as the Sunday crackling. From the grand, roaring winter feasts of the Scandinavians and the ancient Celts, to the classic Siu Yuk in Chinese culinary mastery, roasting a piece of pork with its thick skin left completely intact is a global, millennia-old tradition. Here is what modern biology reveals, and what the people selling you $60 bottles of collagen absolutely loathe to admit. The dermal layer, the skin of a pig, is practically identical to human tissue from a genetic and amino acid standpoint. It is so structurally compatible that trauma surgeons historically used porcine skin grafts for severe burn victims because the human body accepts it so readily. When you eat pork skin, you are consuming the most structurally compatible, complete, and bioavailable form of collagen in existence. Even better, when roasted alongside the healthy natural animal fats of the belly, This collagen is ingested in the presence of fat-soluble vitamins, vitamins A, D, E, and K. These vitamins are the absolute required catalysts your body needs to actually synthesize and use the collagen. Without these fats, your body simply flushes the majority of that expansive collagen powder straight down the toilet. The ancestral preparation is a true culinary art form. The skin is dried out, deeply scored, roasted slowly to render the fat and tenderize the meat, and then blasted with intense heat at the very end to puff the skin into a loud, shattering, blistered crust. The crackling. It is collagen transformed into the most addictive texture imaginable. This masterpiece was aggressively slandered during the low-fat craze of the 90s. The phobia of fat and calories told us to slice off the skin and throw it in the trash, opting for dry, lifeless pork loins instead. The devastating result? A generation suffering from prematurely thinning skin, a massive deficiency in fat-soluble vitamins, and brittle bones. Think of the skin-on pork roast as delicious, edible armor for your own skin, delivering the exact biological matrix nature designed to keep you resilient. What all 10 of these ancestral meals show us is a profound lesson in how far we've lost our way. We took the deeply complex, perfectly balanced nutritional wisdom of nature, tried to isolate it, bleach it, and turn it into a processed white powder in a distant factory. We slapped a pastel label on it and started charging 10 times more for something vastly inferior to what our grandmothers cooked every Sunday. Real collagen is not an isolated supplement. It is the tissue that connected, healed, and fueled our ancestors, prepared with time, respect, and deep culinary wisdom. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the healing power of forgotten ancestral nutrition, and you learned something that opened your eyes today, please destroy that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow and pushes this vital truth out to people who are being misled by the modern food industry. And now, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. Which of these collagen-rich meals are you most excited or maybe most curious to try bringing back into your kitchen? Are you team roasted bone marrow? Do you want to experience the melt-in-your-mouth beef cheeks? Or are you brave enough to tackle the classic chicken feet soup? I read every single comment, and I love seeing what you guys think. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our weekly guides on how to heal yourself with real, ancestral food, exactly the way nature intended. I'll see you in the next video.